Well, hello, guys and gals. Welcome back to the channel, where it's all about racing cars and racing. In the last episode, we looked at a Mercedes AMG GT3. Now we're going to look at a 2017 Mercedes F1 W08 EQ Power Plus. Where do they come up with all this stuff for Formula One cars? I don't get it. Anyhow, as you may have gathered from this package, and you're looking at the complete package, this is a Mini Champs 143 scale model. I believe this one is resin. We'll check in just a moment. Comes with this plastic cardboard hybrid base, which you've heard me disparage many times. I absolutely hate the way these things present. However, this one looks a little bit better with the black base as opposed to the black and white. It's open-sided on both ends, and unfortunately it's got this backdrop on here that you see. And this is a resin 143 scale model. You can see it right there. All the legalese and everything else that you get on it. And guys, that's pretty much it. The bottom of the box is nothing but Paul's Model Art Mini Champs. And that's what you get. You do get an acrylic jewel cover, and it does fit rather tightly in here based on the construction of the backdrop and the base itself. Now, a little bit on the car itself. The Mercedes F1 W8 was Mercedes-Benz F1 race car, designed and developed under the direction of Paddy Lowe and Associates for the 2017 F1 Championship. It was the 8th F1 car that Mercedes had constructed since 2010. The EQ Power Plus was added to increase the exposure of Mercedes electric road cars. What a joy. Now, the chassis was molded carbon fiber and honeycomb composite. Suspension, carbon fiber wishbone, and they did a really good job with that here. The engine, a Mercedes AMG F1 M08 EQ Power Plus, which is a 1.6-liter turbocharged V6 producing about 949 horsepower or 708 kilowatts. Electric motor, MG UK and MG UH. Transmission was a Mercedes X-Track semi-automatic seamless shift sequential gearbox with 8 forward and 1 reverse gears. And battery is a Mercedes lithium-ion, and the brakes, Carbone Industry, carbon brake disc pads, and Brembo brake calipers. You can't see much of that in this model, so we'll just have to take their word for it. During the 2017 Championship Series, Mercedes will win 12 races, 26 podiums, and 15 poles in a 20-race season. Lewis Hamilton will win the Drivers' Championship and Mercedes the Constructors. Valteri Bottas, in his first season, and this is his car, you can clearly see with his name and picture on the back of the card, would achieve 3 wins. And guys, I really think he is still one of the most underrated drivers in the series, and unfortunately on really crappy teams the past few years. A real shame, because when he was serving as Lewis Hamilton's wingman, he did a really good job, and I think he's still got talent, just not recognized. Anyhow, what do I dislike about this car? And we'll go over that first, then we'll go over what I like, because there's more about what I like than I dislike. What I dislike about it, and you all know because I absolutely hate the bases that you get with these models. And the reason I'm so critical is Mini Champs cost about as much as Spark, and their packaging is just really awful. You have a plastic base with this cardboard cover on it, and you can clearly see the gaps in it on the corners. If they overlaid it through the bottom and wrapped it around, it would probably look better. And then you're stuck with this cardboard back, and usually they're not as attractive as this. This one at least has a picture of Valtteri Bottas on it and his name, which I think is really cool. If you take a look, and I'm going to pull another Mini Champs up right behind it. You know, this is more the standard Mini Champs where it says Paul Model Art Mini Champs, and I really could give a shit about that. And I absolutely hate the cardboard checkered base, which I think really takes away from the model itself. This one at least is black, and it's tolerable. So it's better, but I'm still not crazy about it. As far as the car itself, I think Mini Champs does a really good job. Would I say they do better than Spark? No. But in this particular model, I think they did particularly well. I mean, the things that Mini Champs gets really good is, the overall color and finish of the models really are quite exceptional. You look at the front wing, which is very, very complex, even for a 2017 model compared to today's. Well, I've seen even more complex ones. But they did a really, really good job. I particularly love the silver, the black, and the Petronas blue-green, whatever you want to call it. I think it looks really, really good. The carbon wishbone suspension and carbon fiber looks absolutely spectacular. And one thing I do like about this model is that the aerials that you have on it are petite, as they are in real life. One big criticism I've had of mini champs, particularly in Formula One cars, and even more so in sports cars, is a lot of times they're, the delicate parts are not as delicate as they should be. But they did a really good job here in Formula One. Their sports cars, I can't say the same about. Wheel detail is kind of crappy, and it could be the nature of the 2017 wheel. Tires look really good. They're rubber. They're sharp. The barge board, somewhat complex, but very, very interesting. One thing I will give Mini Champs a huge amount of kudos for that I really like it, and we're talking about what I do like, well, we're also talking about what I don't like, as I think the straps, and you take a close look at them here in the cockpit, because you don't have the halo on it, you can see the cockpit a little bit clearer. I think they look really good against the white fire suit, and Valteri Bottas' helmet, I think, looks really sharp, and Mini Champs does a good job with that. We're going to roll this thing around to the other side here and take a look at the steering wheel. And, most reviewers give Mini Champs kudos for their steering wheel, saying that they're far more accurate than the one-size-fits-all Spark, and that may be the case. I don't really know. But I think the steering wheel and the cockpit looks really, really, really good. The carbon fiber trim that you have on the floor and everything else looks really, really sharp. I particularly like this livery. I like the big Mercedes logo on the... I like how the black kind of fades in and out of the silver as it goes over the engine nacelle. I think that looks really, really sharp. I do love the lines of green and the way that it just... It's kind of striped, and again, it blends into the Mercedes, silver arrow finish that you have, and I think it looks really, 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 really good. The panels look sharp. One thing that they do lack that I think Spark does a really good job with are the rivets, which you don't see on this particular model. Another thing I thought was interesting, and maybe some of you will know, I've seen pictures of this car with the number 77 on the shark fin here. I don't see it on this model. I don't know if that was the case for the Chinese GP, whatever. Also, you have this really odd looking, I think I've heard it called a T-bar that you have back here. I assume it has something to do with aerodynamics. I have no idea what. It looks ridiculous. It almost looks like a telephone pole in the back of a car. Kind of silly. And as we turn this thing around, we'll take a look at the back of it. Mini Champs, again, does, I think, a really good job with the rear of the car. It looks sharp. The exhaust looks really good. The rain light. The suspension, as usual, great carbon fiber trim. I like the rear wing with the silver blue Petronas. The DRS system on it looks good. We can't take a look at it from the backside, so you can't really see anything because you have to take this damn thing off to get to it, which I find really frustrating. But anyhow, all in all, I think this is really nice. I've got to be honest with you. When I bought this car, I bought them from a seller in Europe. I thought I was getting Spark models, and I bought two of them, and they were Mini Champs, and I was really disappointed and angry at myself. However, the model, I think, is really good. It doesn't have that white and black checkered flag base. It's just got black, which I think looks good. Even has his signature on it. I like it. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. See you next time.